Your attention is not broken. It's being farmed. Every ping, update, and urgent message is a bid for your most finite resource, your focus. We mistake this for a willpower problem, but the ancient Stoics saw it clearly as a crisis of judgment. Focus isn't about seeing more. It's the disciplined art of ignoring almost everything, and that art starts with a single foundational filter. The first rule changes everything. So the first and most powerful filter for your focus comes from a simple sorting exercise laid out by Epictetus 2,000 years ago. On one side, put what is truly up to us, our judgments, our efforts, our chosen actions. On the other, everything else, outcomes, other people's opinions, delays, even the weather. Distraction, at its core, is just misplaced attention, spending your finite mental energy on that right-hand column, the things you cannot command. Your focus begins the moment you stop arguing with that list and start directing all your energy toward the left. Now, with your filter in place, you build resilience. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, mentally rehearsing what could go wrong. Before you start a deep work session, spend 1 minute imagining the likely interruptions, a loud notification, a colleague's question, your own urge to check the news. By visualizing these distractions in advance, you drain them of their surprise and emotional power. They become expected, manageable events, not emergencies that shatter your focus. You've pre-decided your response. When they happen, you simply enact the plan you already made and return your attention to the work that matters. But resilience isn't just about expecting obstacles. It's about how you greet them when they arrive. The Stoics called this amor fati, the love of one's fate. It's the radical choice to embrace the present moment exactly as it is. This means the noisy office, the unexpected call, the slow computer, they aren't enemies to fight. They are simply part of the landscape of your workday. When you stop mentally resisting these things, you stop wasting energy on frustration. That energy is now free, ready to be redirected into your chosen task. So you've embraced the moment. But how do you stop a distraction from hijacking your focus the instant it appears? The Stoics called this the discipline of assent. It's the practice of pausing before you accept your initial impression of something. That ping isn't urgent. It's just a sound. This creates a critical gap, a neurological break, between the stimulus and your reaction. In that space, you consciously choose your focus point instead of having it chosen for you. So you've built that pause. But focus is a muscle, and muscles grow through resistance. The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort, not to punish themselves, but to train their capacity to endure the minor strain of sustained attention. It's the small, deliberate choice, working in a slightly cooler room, delaying your morning coffee by 10 minutes, or taking the stairs. Each act builds tolerance for the inherent discomfort of deep work, making the siren call of an easy distraction feel less compelling. You're not seeking hardship for its own sake. You're proving to your mind that you can stay on task even when conditions aren't perfectly comfortable, which is exactly when focus matters most. That pause you've built, that resilience you've strengthened, they're powered by a single, sobering truth. Your time and attention are not infinite. The Stoics practiced memento mori, remembering you must die, not as a morbid fixation, but as the ultimate filter for focus. It asks one clarifying question. If your time is limited, does this distraction deserve a piece of it? Suddenly, trivial noise shrinks, and what truly matters sharpens into view. Memento mori clarified what matters. But to truly quiet the noise, you need a shift in perspective. The Stoics called this the view from above. It's a mental exercise. You deliberately zoom out from your immediate frustration, the buzzing phone, the messy desk, and see your current work within the grander scale of your week, your life, even the cosmos. That urgent email? From this vantage point, it's a tiny blip. The perceived crisis of a distraction shrinks, revealing its true, minor place in your long-term arc. This isn't about dismissing your work, but seeing its proper weight. It reinforces that the value of your focused effort compounds over a lifetime, making petty interruptions easier to consciously ignore. Marcus Aurelius wrote of an inner citadel, a fortress of your own judgment that no external chaos can ever breach. It's the mental space you consciously retreat to when the world gets loud. Here, you can observe the noise, the emails, the chatter, the pressure, without letting it dictate your next move. This isn't about ignoring reality, but processing it from a place of calm sovereignty. Your focus stays anchored on the goal you set within these walls, not the storm outside. Your inner citadel is a fortress of judgment. But what fuels its defense? Your desires. The Stoics saw unfocused desire as the enemy of focus. Wanting external validation, likes, praise, a specific outcome, scatters your attention to the winds. The discipline is to retrain desire itself, to want only what is virtuous and within your control, the quality of your effort, the integrity of your judgment. When your deepest want is for internal excellence, not external reward, your attention finds a permanent anchor. Nothing else can pull it away. This is how you move from a defended mind to an aimed want. Desire shapes what you want, but action is where focus lives or dies. The Stoics called this the discipline of action, committing fully to the task in front of you, not the outcome you can't control. An athlete doesn't focus on the trophy during the drill. A writer doesn't fixate on the bestseller list while choosing the next word. Your job is the effort itself, the quality of your attention in this moment. When you attach your focus to external results, praise, metrics, likes, you hand your attention to the world. It becomes scattered, anxious, waiting for validation. But when your aim is the integrity of the action, your focus has an unshakable home. So you've created that crucial pause. Now, use it to examine the impression itself. That email doesn't need you. It just feels urgent. That social media ping doesn't offer value. It just promises novelty. Your job in that gap is to label the impression for what it is. Initial data, not a command. This simple act of naming, this is just a feeling of urgency, dissolves its power. It becomes a piece of information you can consciously deprioritize. You are not ignoring a real demand. You are correctly filing a false one, so you can return, undisturbed, to your chosen task. The Stoics didn't just pause in the moment. They built a system for learning from it. Each night, they performed an examen, a structured audit of the day's focus. You review. Where did your attention hold firm? Where did it slip? And what was the trigger? This turns fleeting distraction into concrete data. You're not failing. You're gathering intelligence on your own mind. Tomorrow, you don't just try harder. You deploy a counter strategy based on tonight's evidence. The Stoics had a simple, profound addendum to any plan, fate permitting. This is the reserve clause. It's not about lowering your effort, but decoupling your focus from a rigid outcome. When you hold your intention with this mental asterisk, an interruption isn't a derailment. It's just fate showing a different path. Your energy stays with the action, adapting, re-engaging, instead of being wasted on frustration. This is how you stay focused through the chaos. The final fuel for deep focus isn't willpower, but meaning. The Stoics called this sympathia, seeing your work as one thread in a vast, interconnected web. When you're coding a feature, you're not just typing, you're contributing to a team's mission. When you're studying, you're not just memorizing facts. You're building a foundation for future understanding. This perspective transforms focus from a selfish grind into a contribution. The petty distraction loses its power because you're anchored to something larger than your momentary impulse. Your concentrated effort becomes a quiet act of service. And that is a much deeper reason to persevere. So we arrive at the final, most stabilizing rule, autarkia or self-sufficiency. This isn't about isolation, but about where you source your satisfaction. The Stoic finds it in the quality of their own judgment and effort, not in the applause or the outcome. When your focus is its own reward, the need for external validation or constant new stimuli simply falls away. You've built an internal engine that runs on the work itself. This severs the last link between your concentration and everything else. Ignoring distractions becomes a natural state, not a battle. So how do you start? Not with all 15 rules at once. Tomorrow morning, begin with the evening review. Audit where your focus drifted yesterday. Then, use that data to apply the dichotomy of control as your filter for today. This creates a self-reinforcing cycle. Review, then filter. Discipline builds itself. Your move is simple. Choose one rule to practice for the next 48 hours. Tell us which one in the comments. That public intent turns knowledge into practice. Your practice begins now.